Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is going to be an Alex build. I'm not sure how I'm going to call this one. I honestly would like to call it Infection Apocalypse, but I feel like I probably already used that name for a net build or something, so I'm not sure, but that would be a good name for it, like Infection Apocalypse. That sums up pretty well what we're going to be doing here. But so let's start with the skills, right? So first we on Watavio we have the toxic one, so it shortens the base cooldown, as you can see there. So you can use it more often. I think it's better, and also when he dies, she dies, it dies. It makes a little cloud of large amount of infection gas, as you can see there. So it does help with the infection of the survivors as well. So that's why I like it better than these other ones. Um, Now for the infection here, we're using on the biohazard, we're using amplify. That's kind of important because we want to be infecting them fast and pretty much all the time. So having amplified will help a lot with that. And here is kind of like whatever really, because we're not going to be using traps at all. So you probably want to go with mechanic because then you get the you can go inside the creatures, the zombies, a little faster if you have mechanic. So that would be the best option out of these four. Okay, I was using this one because I probably forgot to switch. But for this build, mechanic is the best one, okay? Because we're not going to be using really traps. I'll show you some variations that you can use traps, but this is the main one that I for my tests, is what I found to work the best. Now we're going to be using Contagion. Uh, Maybe I could call this build Contagion Spam or something as well. That would be not a bad name also. But yeah, we're going to be using Contagion on the special card. This is really the heart of the build, is right here, and in the infection, as you see. And also in this mod, it's really mostly the special cards that make the build work, okay? So, and then you have the Contagion and the mod for decreasing the cost of 3 of the infection cards. And by the way, this infection mod actually also reduces the cost of Contagion. So it is going to be cost only 1, okay? The Contagion. And sometimes, because it's like 3, which is so much, even when Jen uses her increased cost ability, this is still going to be costing like 1 because it reduces by so much, you know? So it's pretty good. Now, going to the equipment, we're going to be using 2 viral canisters. This is kind of important as well because, like I mentioned, we have to want to be infecting them all the time, essentially, and as fast as possible. So they don't have, they have less time to react when to the creature and they're already infected. Now, these two, technically, you could change them, but I just found that with because this is mostly an Area 3 build, so I just found that the generators that work best, because you can just use your cards a lot more often, which is, it's kind of necessary, so you can get your Contagion. Because otherwise, if the survivors try to rush you or they're really good on Area 3 and whatnot, they try to rush the core, you might not have the energy to keep up if you're not using the reactors, and if you're kind of running low, like on 0, always on 1. So for that reason, I would probably think it's best to use the reactors, but other options you can try is obviously using more infection. And every one of these, like the slide one here and the slide one here, each of them are going to make 1 second less for them to get infected. So I think it's like 6 seconds possibly with the amplify plus the greatly and the moderately, which is what we're going to be using. I think that's like 6 seconds close to the zombie and they're going to get infected. But with the slides and this two is going to be like 4 seconds. It's pretty much instant. It's really insane. They're going to get infected like a lot. But still, you're giving up on the energy to do so. But it is an option. Another option, since we're going to be using guns, you can also run cooling fan because they're going to be destroying your cameras on Area 3, especially if they're a good squad. So having that extra speed to come back does help. You can also be using this guy right here, which is the enhanced spraying, because we're going to be spawning a lot of creatures. So it's good that they get up faster. And the other option would be having this, at least one of these ones, so you can use your guns faster, because you're gonna be using guns in this build, just one really, but it can make a difference. So like if you want to variate, I would probably still keep the this one, at least one of the reactors, especially this one because it increases the health of the core, and then you can variate to this one, like for example this build with the, so if you want the guns faster. But although I just found that it just feels better when I have the 2 generators. It's been working great already with the 2 generators, and sometimes it didn't work so great when I was not using 2 generators. You know what I mean? So that's why I would say probably the primary option is to go with 2 generators. But like you totally could try going without it, and the build is still gonna work. It's just not gonna be as fast on the energy side. Okay. So yeah, this is really the main equipment I would say. And now for the deck, this is what we're going to be using. I experimented a bunch of things here, so I'm going to show you guys a few variations if you want to try that out. That they also work, but it's just my personal opinion. It doesn't work as good as this one. Like I beat full squads with this build, so I think it's pretty safe to say this is the best deck. So we're going to be using the efficiency mod, to combo with this guy right here, so it makes it -4 instead of -3. And that's going to make it so even these 5 creatures are going to cost 1. Otherwise, they would cost 2. But with those 2 mods combined, they're going to cost only 1, okay? Now we're going to use the crawler and the dog. Those are also going to cost 1 and obviously 0 because of this mod right here. So it is affecting the dog as well as all the others right here. And we're going to be using them mostly to spread the infection. And also the crawling zombie works as a trap, because if the survivor tries to run past him, he would actually grab the survivor every time. So it's really good in that sense. You know, you cannot stop on the track, and they're gonna get bitten and whatnot. So they're also gonna stand in place and get infected even more because they're, you know, standing in place next to a crawler that's infected. So it's really good because it kind of stops them in their place. Okay, they can't really like rush through things when you have a crawler in the way. They have to stop to kill the creature first, which is a good thing. Okay, because you don't want them rushing you, especially on the cores and whatnot. And we're gonna using the syringe to spread the infection on these 2 in particular. Now, the reason I'm not using you could totally use this, but the reason I'm not using this is because it's too expensive. You know, I don't feel like it's that worth it. You might as well go with the syringe. It's a little cheaper because we want to have as much energy as we can. Now this gun was actually kind of a breakthrough that I kind of found through to include in this build. Pretty much no one else that shows you this type of build you're going to see using this gun, but I'm going to show you why it's so effective. Not only helps you keep the energy high because you're constantly getting back as you're shooting the weapon, but you can also use the gun to this gun to down the survivors, because contagion doesn't kill them, you know, but it will leave them at like 1 health or something. So with the gun right here, you can just one-shot him, and not only you're gonna down them, but you're actually getting your health, a bit of energy back in doing so. Now, the clone is also really important because we're going to be using the clone to use this a lot. So we're going to essentially be cloning Contagion. You're going to be able to use twice in a row every time you get it. So that's really insanely powerful. You use that twice in a row, they're pretty much on red state already, on their health. And quick draw we're going to be using so we can cycle the cards to get this faster as well, get the Contagion faster. So that's the plan with these 2 here. And yeah, that's the build. Now you see how that work on the gameplay coming soon. But let me just show you a few alterations you can try. You could try one thing I was trying earlier was using this guy right here. Where is it? You know, you could totally try using him instead, the supply zombie, and eventually he's gonna give you the mod, the yellow mod, and you can keep the yellow mod for the rest of the match, and you'll essentially be running with 3 mods, which is this mod right here, the yellow mod from him, and your energy is gonna, you know, be a lot faster, as you can imagine, having 2 reactors and plus the yellow mod here. So it just makes using the creatures even faster. However, it does clunk your hand a lot, and you won't be able to really use this, you know, twice in a row as often because, you know, you have 3 mods in your hand. Now, with we only 2 mods in the first build that I showed is, you know, you have much more control over your cards. So that's why I found it to be way better than actually having those 3 mods and the extra energy. So that's why I'm not using it. Not to mention, sometimes you have with 3 mods in your hand, you're gonna be getting this card again. Even though you already have the yellow mod, you're still gonna be getting this card over and over, and you're gonna be forced to use it so you can use something else, which can be a bit of a pain in the ass. So, because sometimes you don't want to actually use them, you know, the supply zombie. Now, another variation you can try using it is with 3 mods is using this one right here, which gives discount on the traps. And if you're using this one instead of using the syringe, the crawler, and this guy right here, the dog, you could switch those for traps. So for example, this trap right here, you know, this trap right here, maybe this one especially, with the air one. And you could also, if you want to combo with this, so all traps are going to cost, you know, -2 because of this mod plus the passive. So this is going to be only 1, and you essentially, on top of placing the creatures, you're going to be placing traps everywhere. And the survivors can, especially if they try to rush you, they usually going to end up stepping on the traps. Another option is to use this instead, the synchronize. So if the zombie, because they're going to be creatures everywhere, so if they step on especially these types of traps that stun them, they're gonna be like you know, standing in place, and because the traps are not gonna hit the creatures are still gonna be hitting them while they're getting stunned by the trap. So it is kind of powerful as well in that way. So those are the two variations, but I found to work best the one with that I'm gonna show you guys. As you're gonna see in the match, it's pretty good. It's pretty fun too. It's probably the most fun build you can play for her. So let me just change that again. So you're gonna use the clone here. Sorry, quick draw, clone, the syringe, and the crawler. And right here was the dog, right? Yes. And you see the dog helps a lot with the infection. You're gonna see that in the gameplay. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the gameplay where I'm gonna show you the build in action. Okay guys, so sorry, I'm only gonna be showing mostly area 3 because my video, there's a limit to how long I can put it. I can only do like 50 minutes I think,
Continuez, je
so
vous prie, mais
you
ça
know,
ne durera pas
I cannot show you guys the
éternellement.
entire match because of that reasons. Because I'm gonna show various matches. Otherwise, I would totally show you guys the entire one. Just, but it's most that's not big of a deal because it's mostly the area. This build is an area 3 one, so you'll be able to see everything in action. But you can win on area 1 and 2 sometimes with this build. Okay, even though it's an area 3, like if they don't play good enough, sometimes you can end up winning on 1 and 2. I think there's an example here following up that actually won on area 2, and you'll
Arrêtez-les,
be able to see how it works.
si vous le
But
pouvez.
you play the same way, like for area 1 and 2, you know, 3. It's all the same play style that you're doing. You're just essentially cycling the cards and using the contagion. So you see right there, I spawned my crawler there so they can't run past it, and then the dog, so the dog will help me spread the infection. And you see, like I only have 2 mods, so it's very easy to cycle my cards. So I'm gonna spawn a plant here so they cannot go
Admirez
through and
notre dernière
you know, so I
arme
can
qui est
waste
le
more
jeu.
time out of them. While and again, during all of this, you're still like spawning creatures and everything on top of them. So keep, and you see right there using quick draw so I can get my contagion back again. And you see how they get infected because they can't really avoid the creatures because the creatures are pretty much spawning everywhere. So obviously one thing to keep in mind, you want to spawn the creatures like as spread out as possible, so that essentially the entire map is
Mais
affected by their
totalement
aura, you know,
futile.
because if you just spawn the creatures on the same place, they can easily avoid the creatures by just staying far away and they won't get infected, you know what I mean? So there's this thing as well. While they're coughing like this,
Je vous
the
briserai.
infection is still infecting them. Like the zombie next to him is still infecting him, even though he's doing the coughing animation of the contagion. So essentially, uh, the uh, the infection that you lost by using contagion, you essentially gain it back instantly because the zombie's right next to it while he's coughing. You know what I mean? So you can just kind of essentially keep using it forever once you get the contagion. So you see right there, I use the quick draw and I always try to save the clone when I get it, so I can combo with the contagion. You see like right there, I'm just saving the clone,
Vous m'agacez,
so that
c'est
once
vrai.
I get the contagion, I
Mais
can
vous ne
use it.
m'arrêterez pas.
Like right now I'm just waiting for all of them to get infected before I use it, so I make the most value out of the card. And you see they got infected again, even though they lost the infection. That's because you know, see, I'm spawning the zombie on top of him, so that while he's coughing, he's still gonna be getting infected. And you see, I already got it again.
Ça alors.
And I
Voilà du
mean, they're
bénéfice.
losing health doing all of this, so you can see how it's pretty tough. And the
Ils
zombies are still
arracheront
gonna
la
be hitting them
chair
when or
de
not.
votre squelette.
And you see, I spawned the dogs and everything, so now the dogs are gonna be spreading the infection as well. And usually the dogs and the crawlers are the ones that get ignored because they're focused on the other creatures, like the fat one and whatnot, the one with the tentacle. So they're just gonna be walking around spreading the infection, and
J'ai mis
sometimes
ça là pour
the
vous
crawler
donner
will
de
be
fouler
grabbing them
temps,
because
Ventura. Et moi aussi.
you know, because they're gonna try to rush through, and
Après
the
tous
crawler
mes efforts
is
pour
gonna
t'amener
grab them
ici.
if they run past the crawler. And I said this is not like entirely a build based on time, but usually you do like win because they die, they will die. There's no way they're not gonna die, you know, because they don't have the resources to keep this up. So they're gonna run out of yellow herbs. Something's gonna happen. You know, they're gonna go down eventually. It's really hard to. They have to deal with all of this throughout all the 3 cores, as you can imagine. So it's pretty tough,
Ich habe
and you're
euren
constantly just like
Überlebenstrieb
using
unterschätzt.
the contagion on
Das
them.
wird mir nicht
So this
nochmal
match I was
passieren.
using as you can see right there. That the first match is the one that I want you guys to base on. Okay, that's the perfect build, the one that I showed you in the intro. These other matches here, it was still during my test phase. So I was still trying, you know, the traps, you know, the supply zombie, like I mentioned to you guys. I was using the shooter, as you can see too. But you see, it's not that effective as the other one. So the one that I showed you in the intro is bad. You see right now, like sometimes you get to him like this, and you're forced to use it because you have 3 mods in your hands. So, but your energy does get, you know, a lot faster. And see, I was using the energy leech here. I think that's a mistake. You don't really, because the zombies usually die. They're not gonna like be biting them a lot. So, and this can happen as well. If you already have two of them spawn on the map, you cannot use a card. You're forced to wait around until one of them die
Die ist nur dazu
before you
da,
can use it
falsche
like that. You
Hoffnung
see,
zu
so
wecken.
that's kind of a problem as well sometimes. But you will be getting IVs and everything, you know, because of it. So it does it's kind of good in a way. But you see what I mean? Like, because I had to wait that long to spawn creatures, they essentially got a free core because he was holding my hand. So, but now it's kind of where it kind of compensates because I have the energy, you know, everything's spawning.
Gefühl zu
And keep in
töten.
mind when they're coughing like
Die
this, you can totally
Erleichterung.
control the zombies and
Der
hit him like
Ungezüge.
that, get bites and whatnot. And the Ivy sometimes gets some kills too. And you see another Ivy. It's fun that you get like Ivies and shit, but it's just not as effective as the other one. I was using this fat one as well. He's gonna cost only one with the build with the mods there, but he's like so useless. You see how I was not using them. I replaced him for dogs and crawls. They're way more effective than that fat one. It takes like forever to get up, and he dies like in one shot. It's like so dumb. So totally not worth it. Like his explosion will actually hit your other zombies. It's like so not worth it. So I found it was much better when I took him off. And you see I'm spawning the creatures everywhere so that you know, I can spread the infection. And you see, I got Contagion, but I'm forced to use it because no one is infected. So you don't have that option to play the cards as well as you do when you have only two mods, you know.
Ich mach das.
I'm gonna change the camera here,
Zernirgung ist Teil des Testaufbaus.
and you see, I'm gonna try to spawn a creature on top of her so that she has to deal with the creature instead of shooting my cameras like she's doing. And you see what I mean? Like I don't want to get the supply zombie at that point, but I'm forced to use it.
Wie fühlt ihr euch?
Sometimes I just spawn him in the middle like this because I kind of want him to get killed because, you know, because again he blocks my hand. If there's two of him in the map at the same time, I cannot spawn a third one, so it essentially blocks my hand until one of them dies. But you see the energy. The energy is like so much easier to and I'm using 2 cost cards here. If I was using like the intro build with him there, it would be much easier to keep up the energy, you know, because everything would be costing 1. Instead of these 2, like the energy leech, for example, 2 cost cards, the camera is 2 as well, so it's much more expensive. And you see the shield is really, I'm often not using it, so
Das war knapp.
she's probably gonna step on that trap
Das ist
soon.
eure letzte Chance. Keine Munition mehr.
They say you can still win like totally with this setup, but the first one is like much better. Using Contagion twice, I hope you can tell the difference is like way better
Armselig.
with
Zernirgung
the
ist
intro
Teil
version
des
that I showed.
Testaufbaus.
But it can totally work if you want to, I don't know, if you like the IVs and whatnot.
Ça aurait été décevant
So this is a
pour
build that
moi
I
si
want on
vous
Area
n'aviez
2, so you
pas
can
atteint ce
see
niveau.
sometimes how it works too. And see, on Area 2, you don't have the other mod yet, so you actually have 3 cards in your hand. It's even better to control, you know, your hand and whatnot,
Nos yeux ne sont-ils pas là pour
to
être
combo the
arrachés?
cards.
Tout comme
So
notre
right here, you know,
cœur.
I'm not really trying to kill anyone. It's mostly just trying to get close there so I can spread the infection. That's really the idea there. Now she's increased cost here, so I have to go on timeout here. And especially use the doors, the zombies on the doors to spread the infection when you can. They actually get infected when they open the door like this. It counts as, you see right there, it counts as being inside the aura when the door is open. So you're still getting infected on this open and closed like that. And see again, I'm just trying to spread the infection there, not really do much besides that, so I can use my Contagion. And you see, I'm gonna use it again. Notice how they're low in health, and I'm timing it as well so that
Ces données sont excellentes.
you know, they get stunned twice. Because if you use the Contagion while they're already coughing, they're not gonna take a second stun. You know, just gonna get the time. And you see right there how I killed them with the gun. That's really the purpose of it. And in this match, I was using I think it's modified gear, so I can set up the gun faster, as you can see. However, I still feel like, you know, the reactors is probably the better option. But you could totally go with 1 reactor and the modified gear if you wanted to. You could definitely make using the gun and the syringes a lot faster.
Je vous briserai.
Again, just spreading the infection here. And you see, the Contagion takes a lot of time out of them as well, not just health. Like especially when all 4 of them are infected, it's just like 20 seconds, I believe, every time you use a card. And you're mostly going to be using the clone, so you're essentially getting like 40 seconds out every time you get the Contagion with the clone. So it's pretty crazy.
infiniment.
It's pretty much a minute out of the clock, just like that, and they all pretty much go rest too. So you see, you can also clone the energy weapon if you want to, like especially for area 1 and 2. No, especially for area 1, it's mostly better if you use the clone card for actually cloning the
Nos
energy
yeux
gun,
ne sont-ils pas là pour
because
être
that will help you
arrachés,
keep the energy high, so
tout
you
comme
can
notre
spawn these
cœur?
expensive creatures, because you don't have the discount mod yet for area 3, so they're pretty expensive.
Vous ne l'avez pas obtenu? Cela fait partie de l'expérience.
But yes, but you shouldn't like really mind too much if you do not win on area 1 or 2, because this build is really focused on area 3, man. Area 3 is where really is the magic. So you see, I can also use Contagion there, as you see, to get my
Intéressant. J'ai une théorie.
sorry, we use quick draw to
Encore
get
une
my
fois.
Contagion, and then you saw I killed him with the gun there. You can also just use that to gain time itself. Like sometimes even
Arrêtez-les,
if the Contagion doesn't
si vous le
particularly
pouvez.
kill them,
Active une caméra.
you can still, like, while they're coughing, you can still use the gun to you can easily get your 3 shots on them, because they cannot dodge, right? Because they're coughing. So
Vous
you're
ne
getting
vous en
like essentially
sortirez
3 health,
jamais.
3 energy back, like just like that for free. And you know, every shot takes like 3 seconds out of the clock, so not that bad for eating time away also.
Vise un peu ça.
And you see, because of the
Admirez notre dernière
I think it's
arme
toxic, the name of the
biologique.
passive for Watavia, we can use her pretty often as well
Arrête de
on
me
top of the
regarder.
creatures, because usually that makes it so they have to respect the plant, and that allows you to just keep spawning creatures while they're sitting there respecting it, you know, which gets them infected, and then you use Contagion, and it's pretty much a cycle. Val is really the biggest problem. Like, if they don't have a Val, it's pretty much GG. Like, they're never gonna win if they don't have a Val against this build. Because he's the one that you know, like, kills the infection. She can heal them without the need of herbs with the, you know, his spray whatnot. So you see how I'm timing my cards there. I'm just really waiting for them to be infected before I use them.
Le plaisir de
And now I can
tuer,
get pretty much a
le
free kill here.
soulagement et le bonheur suprême de verser le sang d'un autre.
And see, you can also time this with the
L'étau se
plant
resserre
itself.
sur vous.
Sometimes, like, if they're close to the plant, I will use Contagion, and then I'll grab them with the plant while they're coughing. It's pretty funny. you can pretty much combo with anything, because they're like 5 seconds in the stun, so it takes quite a while. You see what I mean? Like, when they're coughing, you can still shoot them with the weapon like this, and it's pretty much an easy three energy right there. And you see the zombie will still grab them while they're coughing. It's
J'ai
just
de
like attack them
l'espoir,
normally.
mais certainement pas pour vous.
And see, that's an example of when you win on area
J'en avais
2.
besoin pour mes
It's
recherches.
not much different than area 3. It's just that the zombies are more expensive, but it plays the same way on area 2 as it does on area 3. Well, and you also have more room on your hand, right? So that does help
Pic
with playing the
d'activité
cards.
de
It makes
noradrénaline
quick draw more
détecté.
effective as well, because
Voilà qui est très
you can roll
intéressant.
3 cards instead of 2. So see, I cannot use Contagion yet, but so I have to get rid of it. They're not infected, so it's not worth it. And you see, on area 3, I usually have my liquor preset build, so I can actually, with the syringe, make the liquors infected as well, which is crazy. The liquors are really good for spreading infection. Like, they're just like the dogs, but way more aggressive. And see, this match I was also using the what's it called, the modified gear. You see how it gets much faster when you have the modified gear. Now you see that sometimes that can happen, like you have the Contagion in your hand, but you also get the quick draw, and you're kind of forced to use it and get rid of a Contagion. That's kind of sucks, but you know, it's not often that happens to the point where it would be really something to be. We see, like right now I don't want to get rid of the clone, but I'm forced to, because quick draw is my only option there.
Je vous briserai. Intéressant.
But no, it's fine. You can get it again.
Encore une fois.
Je suis à sec. Je peux peut-être voir quelque chose.
And I see, like, just combo the creatures with it's Contagion, and it's pretty much an easy kill. There's not much you can do.
Marchez là-dessus et promis, vous verrez des étoiles.
And really, by spawning the creatures, they, you know, you see, Val is really the one that makes the difference. Like, no, like I mentioned, if they don't have a Val, this is pretty much GG. They're not gonna win. There's no way. And the what's the name? The cooling fan helps because of the Jan. Jan is usually just sitting there shooting your cameras.
Cette force.
You see, like right now, I can't really defend the core because the camera's gone. So that's usually a problem. That's when it's a good time for you to use the plant like I have there. I just didn't use the plant because the map is so dumb, so there's no space for the plant there. But if that happens, like there's only one camera and they already sit it, planted at the core, then use your Guatavio to make sure you can buy some time for the camera to recover. Make them respect it, And see what I mean? Like, there's so many creatures. It's like so much fun. And I have Contagion again, as you can see right there. Because of the clone. And you see, they pretty much lost like 3 minutes right there, or 2 minutes. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't notice the clock. But I'm pretty sure, they coughed like twice, and there was a bunch of grabs there, so they easily lost like more than 2 minutes there, I would think. Just in like 10 seconds, they lost more than 2 minutes. This map with the bridges is really strong too, because you can keep like closing them. And you see Contagion again. I got a clone too as well, so it's just so crazy. You see Martin got grabbed there. Oh man, it's too much fun. It's so much fun. You see, it's pretty much there's nothing they can do. It's pretty much impossible. It's really strong build when you have with the clone like this. Yeah, that was a good example. This is just a quick one on area 2 again. Somewhat DC here, but I just wanted to show that, especially with the liquors, with the syringe, it makes it really good. See, I make sure I spawn. You see the dog. I make sure I spawn everyone that needs the syringe first before I actually use the syringe. So I make sure no one is kind of left out. And you see the dog is gonna spread that infection real quick. The liquors also. You see, everyone's infected already. Here comes the Contagion, and they're still getting infected during the coughing, as you remember. So, and you see how I'm spreading the creatures. You want to spread them as much as possible. I see, I got the thing again. But you see, I don't have the gun, so it makes it harder to, because I have to rely on the creatures to kill them when I don't have the gun. That's usually not ideal. She got grabbed while coughing by the liquor. Oh man, I mean, it's too much fun. I cannot lie. This is easily the most fun build you can play for her. Now this is I think the final match. This is like a so long one, but this is actually like pretty much one of the best squads I've ever played. And see, I'm using the trap variation here, so I have a few traps there. I was not using the 3 mods, I think, but I was using the discount passive, so my traps are costing only 1. But you can see it's not as good as having the gun and having the dogs and whatnot. It's so much better. You see, again, I either use the creature or I'm forced to use the quick draw to, either way, I'm gonna lose my clone, which is not exactly what I wanted, but sometimes it can happen. They can also get, if they're close to the door like that, they can actually get infected by the creatures, if you don't know. And you see how I'm placing the trap, so if they try to rush through this, they're likely going to step on it. They're also kind of forced to respect the traps, which kind of slows them down. And you see the Contagion just got a kill, right? This map's so stupid. From that camera, that angle, I can't really spawn the creature for whatever reason. You see right there Val with the heal again. And you see I'm just spreading everywhere because they're always going to try to avoid like staying away from the creature so they don't get infected. This is why you need to spread as much as you can. So they have nowhere to go. That doesn't have an aura of infection, Now these a strategy they were doing, which is probably the best strategy you can do to counter this build, is not only to try to avoid staying close to the creatures, but you see they cannot even leave the first area there. But you can try to how can I say it? I totally forgot what I was gonna say. I'm not gonna lie. Fuck. Oh yeah, I remember. You can use the Raiden. The Raiden. I'm not sure if it's Raiden or Raiden. The way it's pronounced. I feel like it's probably Raiden. But yeah, you can use the Raiden against this build if you can tell the Alex is using this build. That is gonna be the most helpful because the Raiden doesn't take ammo, so you're not gonna run out. Because you can imagine, like, they can't keep this up forever. They're constantly shooting, bullets and whatnot. So they're eventually gonna run out. Especially with the already running out of yellow orbs and whatnot. So you can definitely run out of ammo with this build eventually. against this build. So the Raiden, you know, you're still doing pretty good damage, but you're not running out of ammo. Pretty much never. So
Prends ça.
that's how. This is kind of one of the best ways you can counter this build. You see, she used the disc, the increased cost there, but it's still like so cheap, the creatures, because of all those mods together. And you see how they step on the traps when they try to rush. But because they're using the Raiden to kill the creatures, you can see the timer is really doesn't go down that much. Now this is something that kind of screwed me over. You see, I cannot spawn the creature there behind that crate for whatever reason from this camera. This is kind of stupid. And you see, I'm using the energy leech there as well. That's helping me nothing. Like if I had the gun right here, I'm pretty sure I would be able to. I would have won this match like easily by now, because like I'll be able to like actually kill them with the gun. So you see, if you don't have the gun, you just keep like watching them, but they never die because the creatures are kind of dumb. So it's pretty hard. I'm not entirely sure if I was using two reactors here. I believe not. I was probably using only one reactor and no, I was not. Yeah, I was not using modified gear because I don't even have a gun there. But no, I don't remember exactly what I was using here. Maybe I was using two reactors, or I think I had full infection actually on this match. I was using like 4 viral canisters on my build. So yeah, I was probably not even using the reactors. And you see Jen. This is usually what Jen's going to do. She's just going to keep shooting you. Shooting at cameras non-stop, especially if you only have one camera, that can be a bit of annoying. So make sure you spawn a creature close to her so she has to be occupied, you know? And this is why I mentioned like cooling fan could be help. You see right there, she's like one shot the Jen pretty much. She's like almost rest state. I could easily kill her if I had the gun here in my build.
J'aurais préféré éviter ça.
But because I don't, I just have to kind of just watch them there, you know? Which is a little annoying. And you see how they're trying to stay away from the creatures to avoid the infection. So she finally went down there.
Le plaisir de tuer.
You see that Val helping him.
Et le bonheur suprême.
See, I'm gonna wait for him to leave, and then I'm gonna use the contagion. He's coughing, and then I'm gonna stun him again. And now the Ivy's probably gonna grab him right there. It's pretty funny. So Val is kind of alone here, so I try to focus on her. And you see how they died as well. Usually that's how you win. They're gonna die. There's no way they can keep this up forever.
Je m'y attendais, mais je
Basically,
suis
because
quand
of the
même
energy leech though, the Ivy actually was pretty good because she got all my energy back from that kill. So make sure I make her cough so she doesn't cure him.
Votre destin est tracé.
Now I was trying to stop him from saving her, but couldn't do it. I think I was trying to lower the bridge here, but I couldn't. I don't know. The game decided to control the creature there. I should probably use my plant here. I'm not sure why I'm not using it.
besoin pour mes recherches.
So I can see I made some mistakes. Yeah, I should totally use my plant right now. I don't know why I'm not using it. It's a mistake.
Vous ne vous en sortirez jamais.
This is a very big mistake. Yeah, no, I'm gonna lose this. Yeah, finally I used it. I could have used this so much earlier.
Ce que peut faire la science.
Probably kind of lost the score just because of that. And see, again, they're avoiding, but especially on these maps, they can be a little problematic because even though you can use the plant to you know, get some time there on the core, they usually, if the map is bad like this, they can just shoot the core from any angle. It's like so dumb, so it's really hard to defend it.
Vous vous croyez malin? Elle sera réparée en
Oh, and by the way, if you have the enhanced brain on the creatures, they would actually get up faster, as you know. And that actually sometimes that can kind of work as an ambush and ad sometimes. It's pretty fun because they will, you know, the creatures will get up faster, and if they're close enough, they will just grab them. And see, I downed she was coughing there with the double contagion again. I mean, I don't know if that maybe you might not have that option, but try focusing on Val if you can, because she's the one that's gonna be picking the others up. You see how the traps are not really helping me here? This is why I say the dogs and the crawlers are way better than this. The traps are really just doing nothing. They're probably just using the traps to get more time out of me. I'm not gonna lie. So it's really just not that effective against especially the good survivors. They're not gonna be running into the traps. Basically, well, they got one core, but they still have 2 cores to deal with, and you know, the timer is almost done there. And you see my energy again, how it's kind of hard to keep up there.
J'ai mis ça là pour vous donner de faux espoirs.
This is why I feel like the reactors are pretty good when you have them. See, I can probably kill her here with my clone there. And make her cough again, and then I'm gonna use my gun here.
Ça alors. Voilà le temps.
Now they have to worry about healing her, otherwise they're gonna lose. I should have closed that. If I downed that thing earlier, I mean that Val wouldn't be able to heal her. That was another chance to win the game right there, I think. And again, these traps are just so not useful, man. They're not helping me at all. Especially the energy leash as well is not helping me at all. Just helps me waste all my energy essentially. Now keep in mind one of them actually he didn't DC. He actually crashed the game, I think, because of the amount of creatures. So yeah, this will probably be much harder or easier for that matter if they were 4 people. I say easier because, you know, if there are 4 people, there's 4 people to be coughing, so the timer will run out a lot sooner that way than if you only have 3 people. And you see like 8 seconds and they're still going. And you see the traps there, the traps are gonna force them to respect it. And again, notice how I'm trying to spread the creatures. I'm just waiting for them to get affected, but they're like avoiding the creatures so good. I can't really... That's why the dog is really good as well, because the dog, they can't really avoid... The dog's gonna be running everywhere, so it's really hard for them to actually avoid the dog like this. They have to actually try to focus on killing the dog, which is already like pretty hard because the dog keeps moving around. You know, it's really hard to shoot him. Right here again, the map, like stupid map. I can't spawn the plant there because there's no space, so I cannot defend my core because of that. So that's really stupid. They should totally... I mean, just like they fixed the dispenser. The defuse dispenser was the same thing before. You used to not be able to... Most of the time, you would not be able to spawn it because of the map layout. It wouldn't let you. And they fixed that. They kind of reduced the hitbox or something, so it would allow you to spawn him, the defuse, more easily. They could do that for the plant as well. I don't know why they never done that. Maybe it would be too strong. I don't know. And you see somehow, I think they actually bought blue herbs or something, because I'm actually pretty surprised how often they are getting rid of the infection. So they, I don't know how many blue herbs they have, but they're using the damn lot. You see again, this stupid map, like, there's so many angles, I can't really, you know, my plan is pretty useless. I can't really defend the core. Like, there's too many angles. My camera angle is so bad as well, so that's a problem you can kind of run into. But you can tell that if I had the gun, if I was not using the traps, you know, I was not using the energy leash, I was using the version of the intro that I showed you guys, this match would have been over by now, like so easily. It would have been over a long time ago. So that's why I say that variation is like easily the best. You see the gun, I see again the gun here. It'll be an easy kill on that Samuel there. And she keeps using her, Val keeps using her power, so I can't really, you know, down him. So I was really surprised, like with 3 people they actually managed to you know, counter the build to an extent. So you can see like there's definitely counters to this. It's really just a matter of how they play it. She's probably gonna die here, I think. Now someone came to help, yeah. She would totally die from that after the gram. Val didn't get stuck there, that was so annoying. And you see again the traps. The traps are just ruining me here. They're just giving them time to keep up. If it was a creature, the creature would at least infect them before giving them the time, you know. So yeah, that's why I don't feel like the traps are the best option for the build. At least I was not using the shield on this one, so because that would get rid of my energy so fast. The magnetic shield with the energy leech there as well. You see how useless it is, the energy leech. The creatures are usually already dead, or you're not gonna be needing energy leech. Reactors are better. You see reactors. I'm pretty sure I don't have the reactor here, so it's kind of keeping my energy down also. Now you see, on a situation like this, it's better instead of using the creatures one by one like I'm doing there. It's much better if I waited to have like 5 energy or something, and then I could just spawn, instead of spawning 1 creature at a time, which they can easily react to, I could easily spawn like 5 creatures at once and spread them around the map, and they wouldn't be able to react that easily, you know. See, that trap is actually going to help because if they now they have to respect the plant here.
Admirez notre dernière arme biologique.
Prêt de soin en action. Je peux peut-être voir quelque chose.
Yeah, but the traps it's just painful to watch, man. Because I was still testing, obviously, so I didn't know at this point, but at the point that I recorded this. But it's painful to watch that I was using the traps here because there's so much better options, like you saw in the intro there. So yeah, I finally got infected there. But again, I'm like so surprised. Val is definitely healing them, but I'm really surprised like how often they're getting rid of the infection. The others, when she's not using the actual power. I should have used the contagion there a long time ago on Jen.
Courez, mes petits, courez.
You see, I'm placing the traps on the
Qu'est-ce que
stairs.
c'est?
See, they waited out. They waited out for the plant to go away. I should have probably the fact that I was spawning things non-stop allowed them time enough to do that. And you see how she timed her power there as well. So now I can
Pas vrai? Très bien.
increase cost. I cannot even
Passons
spawn
donc en
things.
mode manuel.
So yeah, the same is a good example of how you should play against this build. However, keep in mind, like I mentioned, like I'm using a not very favorable deck here and equipment. But if I was using the build I had in the intro, I'm pretty sure they would not have won this like easily. They would have lost on like the first score. Alright, there you go. And with the 10 energy, it gets even more crazy because once they open the door, because then they're really gonna get infected and they're gonna be getting contagion like crazy. And see right there, the traps help in this, like right now, for example, because sometimes they step on the traps, and because they're already low on health, you know, it's pretty much the guarantee down there. But like I mentioned, it's much better if you have the gun. The gun will already do this for you, and it will still give you energy back. So this is like really impressive. Like 3 people and they almost won there. I was really hoping they would set. Like I was placing traps on the door. I don't know if you could tell. I was really hoping like please step on it because I knew that would kill them. And luckily for me, they did. And but yeah, guys, that's the build. Try it out. It's been a lot of fun. Definitely the most fun and best build for her regarding creatures and whatnot, and Contagion for that matter. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Take care.